So a few days ago, I started a thread on Reddit asking the community, the React community, about what frameworks they have been testing or playing with besides obviously React. And one that came up multiple times was Solid.js, and people claimed that it was the fastest and it creates the smallest bundle sizes. So I went on and tried the framework, discovered what it does, what it doesn't do, and here goes. This is just kind of an overview of Solid. I also want to share a kind of a disclaimer. Do not go and learn Solid.js before you learn React. I think React is still the most relevant framework nowadays, and it will continue to be the most relevant throughout the year. So if you're looking to pick up a framework, do not go with Solid.js yet if you don't know React. If you know React and you're trying to explore other frameworks, kind of expand your skill set, definitely look into Solid. So here I have two applications pretty much running the same thing in parallel. I can show you guys the code really quickly. So yeah, here you can see the code side by side. As you can see, I mean, if you look at this closely, we have like this same line here at the beginning, start time, use effect, but here we're using an onMount. This is Solid's API for just when you're mounting a component, this gets run. So I'm not gonna talk about the fundamentals of React. This is more of a little bit of a more advanced topic. But what I'm trying to figure out is whether Solid is more performant than React. So on the right side you have Solid, on the left side you have the React code, and let's see what the numbers look like. The first benchmark I wanted to test was how fast the framework is in just rendering a bunch of elements, in this case 5,000. And so I wrapped the log to check how much time it took in a set timeout, just to push this log into the event loop and make sure that this code gets executed after everything else has run, and make sure that there are no differences between how these two render stuff. So this set elements is going to run, it's going to update the view, and then after everything is rendered, this console log should run. And similarly with React. So this on the right side is React, here on the left side is we have Solid. The first benchmark I wanted to test was how fast the framework is in just rendering a bunch of elements, in this case 5,000. And so I wrapped the log to check how much time it took in a set timeout, just to push this log into the event loop and make sure that this code gets executed after everything else has run, and make sure that there are no differences between how these two render stuff. So this set elements is going to run, it's going to update the view, and then after everything is rendered, this console log should run. And similarly with React. So this on the right side is React, here on the left side is we have Solid. Yeah, so see how. So React, it takes almost half a second for 442 milliseconds, and then Solid, let's see, it takes 270 milliseconds. Let's try it again. Over here, 420, and then Solid 255. So yeah, Solid is faster. I'm just rendering thousands of elements on a website. This is just like not a very extensive test, but still, for what it's worth. And as you can see, Solid is faster than React. Part of the reason is because Solid doesn't use any virtual DOM. It uses just raw HTML elements. And in React, you have this virtualized DOM that lives only within React, and then that gets translated into HTML. So that's one advantage, that you really get better performance with Solid, as you can see in this benchmark. Another application I wanted to show you guys is this one called I was just trying to clone Imager. I mean, I didn't really clone all the features. It's just kind of like some of the, you'll see some of the basics of how Imager works. Just a list of images. And I was really trying to just play with the framework, just like see how it works. And I'll walk you guys through some of the things that I did. This is kind of the initial component. I called it random-ger. I have an image list component that's right here. And it loads images from a fake API. That's just a timeout. That's right here. And it's pretty much just a random, like a promise that resolves into these images. And then you have like the list of images. So as you can see, it looks exactly almost the same as React. Pretty transparent. You have like these four loops instead of the maps that you would do in React. So that's different. You have like this create resource for the things that you fetch. So I mean, you can look up the documentation for this. What else is there? The styles, you load them kind of with just an import. That's kind of nice. That's something I like about Solid, that you just import the styles right away, and all the tooling for that comes right out of the box. You don't have to do anything to set it up. You don't have to, if you want to set up a preprocessor, I guess you can, but then out of the box you already have like something set up to just start extracting your styles into another file. And I guess you can also do that in React already out of the box. But yeah, it didn't take me long to figure out how it worked. I've been doing React for a while, years. So if you're really familiar with React, I think you're not gonna have a hard time just going through the documentation. I think most of the things are pretty similar. You have a render function, you append your application into an element. All this is pretty transparent if you're coming from React. Of course, take your time to really understand the changes between the two libraries and frameworks, because they work differently behind the scenes, and that might affect how you build some things. Let's look at the bundle sizes. So I just built these two applications, both in Solid and in React. So I run an npm run build for Solid, and it generated a build that's 1.73 kilobytes, and then Bender, it has 7 kilobytes. Then on the React side, we have bundles of 44 kilobytes and in total 46 or so. It's like 45, 46. So it looks pretty good for Solid in terms of how much JavaScript you run in your production website once you build it. So yeah, those are the numbers. It's almost like 5 times smaller in Solid. It's the same application both places. Thanks for watching. That's all. See you guys in the next one.